The Game Boy has quite a few games that need to be re-unearthed.
Let's go! This is happening because Samus Returns.
Yes.
Or The Return of Samus, right, Simeon?
Whichever one it is.
Which one is it?
It's Samus Returns.
It is. A remake of the Game Boy game, Metroid Return of Samus. And I think that the Game Boy has quite the library to be remade. Reason why it wasn't a very powerful handheld. It had one color. So wouldn't it be great to see some of those fantastic ideas, level designs, I was going to say story, but...
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Nintendo games here.
But it would be good to see some of those modernized.
Yeah, these are games that had potential that was fully realized for their time, basically. They couldn't have been any better than they were, essentially. And now we have the ability to vamp them up, revamp them, vamp them up. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever it is. And so...
Isn't vamping Nightcrawler's power?
I think so.
Yeah, he can vamp all around.
I guess so. I'm not familiar with the X-Men enough.
Let's begin with Super Mario Land 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Game Boy games. And you might know about Super Mario 3D Land. They called that game Land because traditionally the handheld Marios were Super Mario Land. So that was kind of a cool callback. Not a remake at all. It'd be great to see these old games remade. They were monochrome. And they're actually pretty cool. I played 1 and 2 on 3DS. I didn't even know there was a third until I was researching this. It like features Wario.
Yeah, like Wario Land or something. Right. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but yeah.
And if Scott of Two Button Crew doesn't know about a Mario game, should probably remake that and sell it again because there's a market for that.
Absolutely. You can even get the bunny ear power up and go to Legoland or whatever that Lego thing is. Yes. The Pokemon games now.
Ooh, nice.
We were talking Red, Blue, and Yellow. These were recently re-released for 3DS, digital copies. I mean, these are great games. They have remade them with Fire Red and Leaf Green, but we haven't had to remake a Yellow, I guess.
There you go.
I think it'd be really cool to see these games with some more balancing patches. I know it was pretty broken earlier on, but just to get some of that nostalgia. Right now they're working on a lot of Pokemon nostalgia. Pokken Tournament definitely was nostalgia based.
Yes, Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go was hugely nostalgia based, and
still is. They're releasing the legendaries.
That's right, and they had and they're releasing the Kraken too. No, they also have the Pokemon Generations cartoons, which we have not reviewed in a while.
I know.
We need to go back and
you think
re-review it. Yes, I think so because I think that was pretty good.
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is not on this list. But what is Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons. 2 games that were released kind of like, Blue and Red. They were kind of a version thing. But they had some important differences. It's not like just playing one would get you the full experience. It'd be great if this was remade, maybe even bundled together. Like, don't you think?
I think it would. And, they even they were at least planning a third one. I can't remember if it had reached its final stages, but...
What was it? Oracle of Time?
No. It was... I can't remember what it was.
Oracle of Animals. Oracle of Sword Fighting.
I can't remember what the last one was.
I'm sure it was Sword Fighting.
I've heard it before, but for some reason, it slips the mind.
But these are Zelda games that surprisingly haven't been remade. So many Zelda games have been. These ones are probably played the littlest.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Why not take that opportunity?
Give it a shot. Kirby's Dream Land on Game Boy is a fantastic game. And we kind of had a remake on the Kirby Superstar and obviously Kirby Superstar Ultra. That game got remade. But once again, you had the ability to copy powers, whereas in the original, you did not. And you had to rely on these other power-ups and just sucking stuff up and blowing it out and flapping your little stubby arms. And I think that this game, with the original mechanics, would be a lot of fun to go back to, get a few more levels. I was able to beat the game like 10 times in one day one time because I was just so in love with the game.
Yes.
I wanted to beat it over and over and over again. Great game. I think it'd be great to see a remaster of this game.
Let's also remake Pokemon TCG. This was actually a Game Boy game where you could play Pokemon cards, the trading card game that you could also get in stores, but this was a digital version, and it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Now you talked about the nostalgia and everything going on. Of course, this would just be like the first set of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
That's okay. I know you can play Pokemon online these days, but that's way too intimidating for an old-timer like me.
Yeah.
It'd be a pretty cool phone app just to be able to play online with the first set of cards. That would really even the playing field. That would let everybody have some fun competing.
Get some new blood on old cards, get some new strategies.
I mean, yes, let's get some new blood on the cards. That's exactly.
That's not what I meant. That's kind of gross.
I love this next pick of yours. Let's hear that.
Now, this one's going to be interesting, but it's something that people don't talk about except in a disparaging light.
You'll have to convince
except for
us.
Me. Game Boy Camera. Now, Game Boy Camera was a really good idea, and for its time, it was fantastic.
We've got a whole episode on it, right?
We do.
So the quick version is it's a little attachment camera that plugs into your cartridge slot on the Game Boy.
Yep, and then it has a little camera that swivels, and it takes really bad photographs. There's got to be a way. There has to be a way in this day and age with Snapchat
filters.
Yeah, Snapchat filters and even social media. They can do this.
Yes.
They can take this idea of Game Boy Camera,
they can
remaster it, do 3DS camera. I know they have PictoChat, but that's not even a camera. It's totally different. Nintendo's been kind of leery of, the whole PictoChat thing.
Right.
They've had to, or not PictoChat, Flipnote. It's all the same stuff.
And SwapNote.
Worse versions of the Game Boy Camera is what I call it. But they have social media stuff like Miitomo. There's got to be a way of doing Game Boy Camera right, doing it some justice, or bringing it back to its former glory days. And hey, Game Boy Camera wasn't that bad. It may be almost pointless now, but it's still pretty cool.
Wow, Nintendo should put that on the back of the box when they do this remaster.
What? Game Boy Camera wasn't that bad?
Simeon King.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of the crew.
Don't forget to follow the Nintendo Force on Twitter. Hit that follow button and follow their Twittifying.
See you guys next time.
Signing out.